Have you found yourself swatting away mosquitoes more than usual this year? You should stay tuned for Health Watch. Hello, I'm Terrence Atker Anderson, and this is Health Watch. When it rains as much as it has recently in Hampton Roads, water can collect anywhere. Abandoned tires, flower pots, buckets, garbage cans, bird baths, tops, and flat roofs, etc., etc., etc. But such sites can also prove to be pretty prolific breeding grounds for a most unwelcome visitor, the mosquito. Surely, mosquitoes can be very annoying pests, sneaking up on you, making nary a sound, gorging themselves on your blood, and then taking flight before you can squash them into oblivion. Yet mosquitoes can also be harbingers of serious diseases, such as Eastern equine encephalitis, West Nile virus, and malaria, to name just a few. Protecting yourselves and your loved ones from the sting of a mosquito is serious business, and the Norfolk Department of Public Health is very much up to the task. Joining me in the studio today are two guests from the Norfolk Department of Public Health's Environmental Health Division. Environmental Health Specialist Penny Smelser from Vector Control, who is a veteran of the show, and Environmental Health Supervisor Brian Knight. Welcome to Health Watch, guys.
Hello, Terrence.
And welcome back to you.
Well, thank you.
Brian, I just listed several mosquito-borne diseases, but we can also add Western equine encephalitis and lacrosse encephalitis, and there's a dengue fever to that list. But I want to start talking about West Nile virus. West Nile and Tripoli tend to be more prevalent in this area. What are the symptoms of West Nile virus?
The symptoms are high fever, headache, neck stiffness, stupor, disorientation, coma, tremors, convulsions, muscle weakness, vision loss, and numbness and paralysis. Those are the more severe symptoms, and it's important to note that only about 1 out of 150 people exhibit those type of symptoms. They can last for several weeks, and actually the neurological effects can be permanent.
Permanent?
Yes.
So let's talk then about a milder case of West Nile virus. What are those symptoms?
The milder usually affect about 20% of people. Some of the milder symptoms are fever, headache, body aches, nausea, vomiting, sometimes swollen lymph nodes, and also rash on the chest or stomach area may appear. These symptoms can last for a few days up to several weeks in healthy individuals.
Isn't it true that some people will show no symptoms at all?
Yeah, about 80% of people do not show any type of symptoms. So that's about 4 out of 5 people.
4 out of 5 people.
Yes.
How is West Nile virus spread?
West Nile virus is spread through the bite of an infected mosquito. The mosquito bites or feeds on an infected bird. Infected mosquitoes can then spread the virus by biting humans and other animals. In a very small number of cases, West Nile virus has been spread by other means, such as blood transfusions, transplants, breastfeeding, and even from mother to baby during pregnancy. So West Nile virus is not spread through casual contact, such as touching or kissing.
So when someone begins to show symptoms and they become sick, how soon does that generally happen?
Usually 3 to 14 days after becoming infected.
Can you tell us about treatment, any treatments for West Nile virus?
Yeah, there's no really specific treatment for West Nile virus infection. Symptoms like fever and aches that can occur in milder symptoms of disease tend to pass on their own. Though even healthy people become sick for several weeks. In severe cases, people usually need to go to the hospital where they can receive supportive treatment such as intravenous fluids, assistance with breathing, and nursing care.
Okay, Penny, as I was talking to Brian, I mentioned that there are two that can be prevalent in this area, in the U.S. anyway, and West Nile virus, and the other is Triple E, Eastern equine encephalitis. What is Triple E?
Triple E, Eastern equine encephalitis, it's rare. There's only a few cases that are reported in the United States every year, and we actually had a local case last year in Portsmouth in 2012.
In Portsmouth?
Yes.
I think the last time you were on, it's been a couple of years ago, there was two other cases elsewhere in Virginia.
Yeah, the last one we've had locally in Hampton Roads was also in Portsmouth. I'm not sure the year, but it was also in Portsmouth, and that was several years ago.
I see. Okay. Can you tell us anything else about Triple E?
Sure. Most cases occur in the Atlantic and Gulf Coast states. Most people that are infected don't have any apparent illness, but people who do show symptoms when they contract encephalitis is inflammation of the brain. And severe cases begin with a sudden onset of headache, high fever, chills, and vomiting, and that can progress into disorientation, seizures, and possibly coma.
Serious.
Yeah, it's very serious. It's one of the most severe mosquito-borne diseases in the United States. It has a high mortality rate, almost 33%. And those people who do survive can have lifelong complications such as brain damage. Unfortunately, there's no specific treatment for Triple E.
Yeah, I noticed that in preparing for the show that a number of these mosquito-borne illnesses, there is not any real kind of treatment. What about lacrosse? Is it lacrosse encephalitis?
Sure. We also have lacrosse here in Virginia. It occurs in Midwest states, Mid-Atlantic, Southeastern states.
I'm sorry, but it does occur in Virginia as well?
It does occur in Virginia. We mostly see it in the western part of the state, in the mountainous regions. Once again, most infected people will have no symptoms. But if there are symptoms, they usually include fever, headache, nausea, vomiting, and fatigue. It's a neuroinvasive disease, so it affects the nervous system. Severe lacrosse encephalitis can include seizures, coma, and paralysis. And one thing to know about lacrosse is it usually affects children under the age of 16. And once again, there's no specific treatment for lacrosse encephalitis.
Any insight at all as to why the greater prevalence is in children under the age of 16? Has there been any research done to you?
I imagine there has been. I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't know if it's the immune system. I'm not sure what, or children are outside more. It could be a number of reasons.
That very well could be what it is, because their immune systems may not have fully developed. The other one I wanted to ask you about is something that when most people think of mosquito-borne diseases, they think of malaria. Everybody's heard of malaria, but we don't hear too much about malaria nowadays. Have we beaten malaria? What's going on there? Or is it just not happening here?
In the United States, well, especially here in Virginia, we've had 2 cases of malaria of recent years that were contracted from the native mosquito population, and that's unusual. Most malaria cases come from people who have traveled outside the United States. And worldwide, it's a huge issue. In 2010, there were 216 million cases of malaria.
216 million cases.
And of those cases, about 655,000 people died. And 91% of those cases occur in Africa. And symptoms of malaria can include fever, chills, and flu-like illness. There is a treatment, but left untreated, complications from malaria can become very serious and result in death.
So in the United States, I guess we just have better preventive modalities as opposed to some it's not one of my favorite terms, but third world.
Yeah, we have better preventative measures, and we also don't necessarily, we have mosquitoes that can support malaria and can carry malaria, but it's not really native in our mosquito population.
I see. Okay, guys, I think that with the discussion thus far, we've gotten everybody's attention here. So let's get really into the woods here, into the thick of things in terms of what people can do to prevent being bit by a mosquito. And recently, one of the producers with WCTY, the Norfolk Neighborhood Network, went out with one of the fogging trucks. Norfolk Department of Public Health fogging truck. The producer was John Linker, and I want to thank John for providing us with this footage. So I'd like for you to tell us, Brian, about this process, the fogging process. And while you're doing that, we're going to roll this footage. Okay?
Sure.
All right, let's roll the tape here, guys. Okay.
Here in Norfolk, we tend to fog in the late evening or early mornings when the mosquitoes are active. We use a ultra low volume fogger. It has a very small droplet size, and the reason we use this is so we don't harm non-target species like larger bugs and bees and stuff like that. The droplet size is small, and it's not going to hurt any other type of bugs.
Well, that's interesting. The size of the droplets in the fog itself is designed to prevent impacting other insects.
Yeah, what happens is larger insects, when they fly into it, the droplet, the size is so small, it's going to the air is going to push it away. But the actual mosquito, when it flies into it, it's like almost the perfect size. It's going to hit that mosquito.
I had no idea it was that sophisticated.
And it's called adulticide, and we're actually targeting adult mosquitoes. We're not targeting actual
the mosquito larvae.
Yeah, larvae or anything like that here, and it's really the least effective way of controlling mosquitoes.
Right. As we were looking at that footage earlier, one of the key people in the studio here commented that the mosquito fogger in his neighborhood played ice cream music. I doubt that is the case, but that would be a very good thing to do.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, I don't know. Maybe all the kids will run to the mosquito trap. We don't want that. So what else? This is the mosquito fogging is done by Vector Control. Again, you are with Vector. And I would ask either one of you to respond to this question. What else does Vector Control do in terms of mosquito prevention? I know that there's a fair amount of eliminating standing water and so forth. Brian, what can you tell us?
Tidal ditches. We go through in the wintertime and clear out tidal ditches so that there's no standing water to actually eliminate breeding of the salt marsh mosquitoes. We clear out and treat roadside ditches, go to people's houses and maybe help educate them on turning over man-made containers. Junkyards will go out there and treat things, standing water that can't be dumped, or actually if something needs to be dumped, we'll dump it. Eliminate tire piles, and also we treat storm drains.
Okay. Penny, the last time you were on, you had some pretty interesting mosquito traps. I remember one was called a light trap, and I can't remember the other. It was two others, I believe.
Correct.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break, and that is actually mosquito surveillance.
Yes.
Correct? See, I'm
That's
learning.
correct.
All right. So we're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to show our audience these mosquito traps. Okay? All right, guys. We want to ask you to please stick around. In just a few moments, we're going to come back, and we're going to return, and we're going to see some pretty interesting contraptions that will ensure you that the Norfolk Department of Public Health is on the job when it comes to the pesky mosquito. Stay tuned.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Thank you for sticking around. We're going to get right into our show and tell now with these fantastic, incredible mosquito traps. Penny, why don't you tell us about these traps, how they work, and how they help you be so good at what you do at the Norfolk Department of Public Health?
I'd be happy to.
And what is this one called?
So this is our most basic trap. It's called a CDC light trap.
Okay.
And it's one that we use the most. We use this on a regular basis every week. We set about 24 of these.
All right.
So the way it works...
You set about 24 every week?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way it works is it has a light up here in the top, and that is one way that attracts mosquitoes. And the second way is this little cooler we fill with dry ice, and as the night goes on, it sublimates and it gives off carbon dioxide.
Right.
So the mosquitoes think there is something there living and breathing, and they come to see what it is, looking for a blood meal.
And then you say, gotcha.
Yes, and as they fly in, they get caught up in the fan pulls them down, they get caught up in the net. So this is running off of a battery for about 12 hours a night.
Okay. All right.
So this catches a big variety of species, anything that's looking for a blood meal will come to this trap.
And give us some idea, what three different species are there to catch?
Well,
when you were pronouncing it before, I was pretty impressed. What is it?
well, we get about 25 species.
25 different
Yes,
species?
25 species in our area, so it could be any number of things, but we get Anopheles, which are malaria mosquitoes.
Anopheles?
Anopheles.
Okay.
We get Culex mosquitoes, Aedes mosquitoes, Claritatis, a whole variety. Any kind of the mosquito that's looking for a blood meal will come to this trap.
And you actually count those mosquitoes?
We do. We look through the trap counts, we count them, we speciate them down, and then if they are potential vectors of disease, we will test them for West Nile virus and for Triple E.
And that's when it becomes mosquito surveillance, when you count them and you...
Correct. And of course, everything we do with surveillance affects our control operations as well. So the adulticiding that we saw earlier, we'll do that based off of what we find in our traps.
I see. And what about this one? Are we done here?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is this contraption
So
here?
this one is called a gravid trap.
Okay.
And this one is targeting female mosquitoes that have taken a blood meal, and now they have eggs that they're looking to lay. So this trap will have about an inch of water in the bottom. The water that we use for this is a combination of just, tap water and a bit of straw left in a trash.
Straw?
Yes.
Okay.
Straw. The mosquitoes that go to this trap, they like higher organic matter.
Okay.
So we take that combination, we leave it out in the sun for about a week, and it becomes very attractive to the mosquitoes.
How do you know what to use to attract female mosquitoes?
Well, I mean,
they have a lot of money, or
they have, they're all gold diggers.
Yeah.
But just years of research, people have found out what is the best way to get certain species of mosquitoes, and different mosquitoes like different water sources.
I see.
So this trap in particular attracts Culex mosquitoes,
Okay.
and that is important to us because they carry West Nile virus and Triple E.
And this is the Culex mosquito is the principal one that is attracted to this.
Correct.
Okay. And the Culex mosquito is a female mosquito. Is that what
Yes,
it is?
female Culex mosquitoes are very attracted. They come in to lay their eggs for the
I
trap.
see.
So they've already taken a blood meal. They've possibly picked up West Nile virus or Triple E from the bird or
Right.
whatever they fed on.
Right.
And so now we're catching them in the gravid trap, and then we test those species the most because they're most likely to have a disease.
And this is gravid, G-R-A-V-I-D?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to step out the way so you can show us this
Sure.
other. And what is that?
Okay, the last one is called a BG sentinel trap, and it is designed to catch the Asian tiger mosquito, also known as Aedes albopictus.
And that's the one that has the stripes.
Yes,
on
has black and
I
white
remember
stripes,
that one. Okay.
and it is probably the biggest nuisance mosquito. If you've been bitten in your yard, that's probably what's biting you.
Okay.
So this trap, it sits on the ground, and through research they found that mosquitoes are attracted to dark surfaces. So the trap is all white except for this black cup in the top.
Interesting.
So they're attracted to the black cup. And inside of the trap is a fan that's pulling them down.
Mhm.
And the special thing about this trap is that it uses a special lure. And the lure is designed to mimic the chemicals and smells of human skin. So
Now the lure is embedded inside of
yeah, there's a little pocket inside the trap where the lure sits.
Okay.
I have it sitting in here if
Yeah,
you'd like
I
to
see.
see it. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
So this is, you take it out of this little container, and that's all it looks like. It's a little coil of plastic, but embedded in the plastic is the chemicals. You can smell it if you'd like.
I'm not going to get the urge to sting someone, am I?
No.
That's kind of pungent.
Yeah, it's quite strong, and so the mosquitoes think they are coming across a human being.
Most human beings smells pungent. Huh?
Well, this was an especially strong one, so so they think they're coming across a human being, and they are
Right.
attracted to the trap, and the fan pulls them down. And so we can catch hundreds of Asian tiger mosquitoes in a night using this trap if we put it in the right place.
So all of these you use for surveillance as well.
Yes, yes, we try to use all of them in conjunction to get as many species and as many numbers as we can.
Okay, 25 different species with the light trap.
Right.
Okay, basically the Culex mosquito with the
Correct.
gravid.
And so there's like 2 or 3 species of Culex mosquitoes. You might get a few albopictus also in gravid traps.
Alopictus, I remember that from before. And the Asian tiger
Yeah,
from
that-
this particular.
Right, about 90% of what you'll get in here is going to be Asian tiger. There
Yep.
could be other species, but it's majorly.
Okay. All right, we'll come back over this way. I want to ask Brian a couple other questions here. And again, do please feel free to chime in. So, Brian, what can our viewers do to protect their property, to prepare their property to prevent an onslaught of mosquitoes?
Turn over any type of containers that can collect water, such as wheelbarrows, buckets, flower pots, pools, things of that nature that's going to collect water and where mosquitoes can actually breed at. We want to eliminate water on tarps and flat roofs, clean out bird baths, and wading pools at least once a week, and clean roof and gutters and downspouts because a lot of times those things get clogged up with leaves and water backs up in them, and mosquitoes can start to breed in your gutters.
And again, a question, do please feel free to chime in. How can we best prevent mosquito bites?
Check your windows and door screens in your house to make sure that mosquitoes aren't entering. Wear long, loose, light-colored clothing. As Penny said earlier, they're attracted to darker colors. If possible, limit outdoor exposure during evening and morning times, and use an insect repellent with the lowest DEET rating for the length of time you are exposed, but no more than 50% for adults and no more than 30% for children under the age of 12.
Okay, all right. Now, Penny, as our resident expert on these traps here, I want to come back to it before we get to the closing moments. I'm not exactly sure how much time we have left, but we have three different things that we use to attract mosquitoes. Light, and this actually has water in it with the straw.
Correct.
Okay. And the last one here is with the pungent odor,
Yeah,
the
chemical lure.
Okay. And they attract basically different types of mosquitoes. The Asian tiger mosquito, does it, is it least likely to have a mosquito-borne disease? Is there a particular mosquito that is least likely to carry a disease?
Albopictus have the potential to carry mosquito-borne disease. They typically, the West Nile virus exists mainly in the bird population. So different mosquitoes like to bite different, and have different hosts. So the mosquitoes that tend to bite birds are the ones that are going to carry West Nile. So Albopictus doesn't feed on birds as much as it does humans and other animals. There is, occasion where there might be some bridge vectors. That's where something feeds on both birds and people. And that's where you get a situation where it's quite dangerous if you have disease present in that mosquito population.
Is there a particular type of bird that the mosquito bites, or is there a particular type of bird that is a carrier of West Nile?
I believe that West Nile is pretty invasive in the most of the bird population.
Oh, really?
Now, in the earlier stages, there were, you'd have crows and blue jays and birds of prey that were susceptible to it, and they would die from it. But those bird populations have built up an immunity now. They don't tend to die from the disease.
I see. We do have some time left, but before we do run out of time, how can people reach the Vector Control Office? And there's also a mosquito fogging hotline. Can you give some contact information, please?
Sure. If people have concerns or questions, they can contact our office. Our phone number is 757-683-2840. And we also have a mosquito fogging hotline. And that is a recorded message to let people know where we are going fogging that evening. And that number is 757-683-2914.
Okay. The other thing I would like to ask is that we talked earlier, and it appears that you guys, you do your work between, what is it, November through November? What period of time are you most active in terms of mosquito prevention?
When we're actively doing mosquito control is between April and November. And that's when we'll be larviciding, looking for mosquito larvae. We'll be adulticiding, using the fog trucks. We'll be doing mosquito surveillance. And during the colder months, when mosquitoes aren't as active, we'll be doing tidal ditch maintenance that Brian mentioned, and that prevents the salt marsh mosquitoes from having places to breed. So it clears out stoppages in tidal ditches, allowing the water to flow freely.
Of these three traps, is there one that you feel well, not necessarily most effective because they're going after different types of mosquitoes. Is there one that you find most interesting in terms of the way it functions, the way it works?
Well, for me, I rely on gravid traps pretty heavily because I want to test for diseases, and these traps are going to get me the mosquitoes that are most likely to be carrying a disease. So I rely on the gravid traps very heavily. The light traps are really useful, especially when we're talking about fogging and where we should go fogging, because this gives me a picture of the whole mosquito population. And the sentinel trap is great for kind of gauging the problem that someone might just have in their backyard. So if we have a complaint call, a sentinel trap is really good to put in someone's backyard to see if they do have a problem with Asian tiger mosquitoes.
Now, correct me if I'm way off base here, but don't you guys use sentinel chickens as well? Is that something?
We do. We do.
And what is that all about? How does it work?
The Sentinel Chicken program is for disease surveillance again. And so we have small chicken flocks that are placed in coops throughout the city. And every other week we go to those chickens and we take a blood sample. And that blood sample is then tested for Tripoli and West Nile virus. The chickens themselves are immune to the diseases and they produce antibodies. So we test for the antibodies.
So the mosquitoes that have bitten the bird that carries the virus then also bite the chickens, and once you test the sentinel chicken blood, that's how you can determine the prevalence or the presence of the disease.
Correct.
Fantastic. Guys, I want to thank you both for coming on. This is it's always very interesting, and I definitely do like show and tell. And again, thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you.
If you have a question about mosquito prevention activities going on in your neighborhood, contact your local Department of Public Health. Remember, you can always catch previous editions of Health Watch online at www.norfolk.gov. If you'd like to drop me a line, you can email me at terrence.affer-anderson@vdh.virginia.gov. Please also feel free to give me a call at 757-683-8836, 757-683-8836. For the Norfolk Department of Public Health, I'm Terrence Affer-Anderson, and this has been Health Watch.